What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of our Road to Glory career mode here. Of course, it's been a few days. I apologize for that. So let's take a look at what happened in the last episode. In this one, though, we embark on the knockout rounds of the Champions League. It's the first time crew are going to be here, and boy, am I excited about that one. Can't wait to get into game against Sociedad. We'll check that out in a moment. But last episode, we beat Palace, we beat Charlton. We played an absolutely cracking game at Goodison Park, winning 6-2 against second-placed Everton. We beat Forest, and we also beat Chelsea. So yeah, overall, good episode. Of course, with the sliders as settings they are, I'll show you them again for anybody who is unsure, because we do play on slightly more on this series. I did wait for one of you guys to let me know back, so I'm going to be moving up the marking back up to what it was, and the rung frequency as well back up to what it was, because it does actually have an impact according to a few people. So I'm going to do that. The first touch controller remains at 15. Everything else is set to a difficult standard. So hopefully today we're going to have quite a tough job on our hands trying to beat Sociedad. This could be quite tough for us, but nevertheless, we will go into it. High confidence and try our best as we always would do. Hakeem is going to be leaving the club. He will join West Brom when his contract expires. So I'm not surprised, actually, that it is West Brom who have come in for his signature. He's been a good servant for us in the long period of time that he's been at the club. But unfortunately, now is the time that he will move on. Just checking, actually. Are West Brom still a Premier League side? Because if they are, then I'm not sure if it's a good enough signing for the Premier League. But if it's a Championship team, they are. Okay, they are still a Premier League. I was going to say, in the Championship, Hakeem would destroy it. But in the Prem, I'm not so sure that West Brom is going to do a good job for them. We are still undefeated after 24 games, by the way, guys, on 20 wins, which is sensational. Got a bit of training to do here, but I'm going to get my team sorted, and we'll jump into the first leg of the round of 16 against Sociedad momentarily. Let's do this. So I've sorted out our side ahead of this one. We are playing the away leg first, so we do travel to Spain. So any goals we score here will count as away goals. Of course, any goals we concede are not as bad as they will be next time out. That's the team we're going to go with. Yorfa is back from his injury, so he will start at right back where Oxford has been playing as of late. Green back in goal. We've got Gaia, Tarkowski, Konsa, and Yorfa as our back four. And midfield three, and this is where it gets interesting. I've gone with Grujic, Evans, and Reese, Oxford. I just feel like Oxford in that CDM role, if I instruct him to stay back, which is what I'm going to do now, actually. I forgot to do it moments ago. If we instruct him to stay... Oh, he was already on it, actually. Stay back while attacking. He'll be able to hold down that CDM role. And, of course, our front three that is so deadly thus far this season. Calvert-Lewin, Donis, and El Ghazi start up top. Boy, this is going to be good. It's the first time we're playing knockout rounds with Crew Alexandria. We're enjoying a really good spell in our home cup, of course, which is the Premier League, undefeated after 24 games. But, admittedly, this is the one that I want. The Champions League is where we want to win. We've won the Prem, we still need to win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup and the Champions League. And we might have an opportunity to do it if we can beat Sociedad here. Go admit, I don't think the team is good enough to win the Champions League, so getting as far as we possibly can is the aim. But if we can defeat Sociedad here and go through to that quarterfinals, it would be some run. And it would seriously be an overachievement, I think. Getting out of groups was tough. Now we're here, I want to go as far as possible. So let's do this. Here is Calvert-Lewin looking for Donis. He will find him as well. Donis, good turn. Drives forward, striking. Oh, how good would that have been if it had gone in the back of the net? The woodwork saves Sociedad, and we unfortunately have not found the opener here. What a strike from Donis, though. Really deserving to go in that top corner. But for that bar to stop us, it would have been the opener. I think the worst result for us here would be that 0-0. But as long as we don't concede... If I can score a goal, it would be the best case scenario. Here's Grujic on the edge of the area looking for the shot. He gets blocked well, and it's cleared away by Diop. Yeah, I think I'd prefer the 1-1 to a 0-0 just because we do have that away goal then. And, of course, taking it into the next leg, we just have to make sure we draw 0-0 to go through. That's good play. El Ghazi, across the face of goal, got in. No, Calvert-Lewin's got to score. Our top scorer this season at the back post somehow hasn't given us a 1-0 lead. We have been... the better side here so far, and I just don't know how we haven't found the goal yet. Grujic, Gaia, this is better. Calvert-Lewin, back towards Gaia. Can we get the cut across? We can. Jose Gaia's across, Donis! And we take the lead here inside the 33rd minute. Sociedad are really struggling with us down the wings at this moment, and that might be where we have a lot of success today. But it is going to be the opener from Donis. Could have scored earlier with the shot that came back off the bar. And in the end, it's going to be Crew 1, Sociedad 0. I said I'd prefer a 1-1 over a 0-0. But we might not even get that because we could still score again here. There is enough time to grab another one. Lovely ball from Gaia. Composed finish from Donis. Keeper can't really get near it. And that is his third in this Champions League. I think he's in doubles figures overall for all comps this season anyway, Donis. So he's having a decent season. But what a ball it was from Gaia. Grujic, Donis, out wide is El Ghazi. Little 1-2 with him. Sees Calvert-Lewin making the run. Can he find him? Yes, he can. What has he got up his sleeve here, Calvert-Lewin? A man over on the edge is Dominic Iorfa, who's far forward here. Iorfa back in the team today. And that could have been a second. The deflection could have gone anywhere. Evans on the ball. Backwards towards Konsa. Not really the man I was looking for, but we will find it with Ezri Konsa here. He will find El Ghazi, who's crosses deep towards an unmarked Calvert-Lewin again. Another completely wasted chance from our top scorer. What is wrong with him today? Normally, he would be bagging those for fun. He missed one earlier on, and he's just missed another one there. As I said, Sociedad, as the halftime whistle goes, are really struggling with us down the wings today. But how have we not got that second? He's got to do better with that chance. Maybe I should have taken a touch. I've got to say, Calvert-Lewin, mate, you really are disappointing me today. Might have to sub him off, you know. We have got Nelson, of course, on the bench, so it's not a bad substitution. But dear me, 2 wasted chances. Oh, my goodness. Straight from kickoff. I was quiet because I didn't expect anything. I thought, we've defended this okay. It's going to be our ball. And they strike one off the woodwork. That was genuinely so close to 1-1. What is going on? I need to defend. I need to concentrate because immediately after this second half has started again, we have not started off very good. That's a great knock towards the back post. And again, they strike the woodwork. It's the same player that hit it moments ago, this time from his head. And we get away with a massive, massive lucky break there. Got no idea what just happened to us defensively, but we need to wake up because that was so close to 1-1. No idea what on earth the referee is given here. I don't think that was a free kick. I am going to make a couple of changes, actually. Bring on a bit more pace in Reiss Nelson. Of course, Calvert-Lewin is very pacey, but he is a little bit unfit. I'm also going to bring on Barco Villar here and bring off Evans. Because as you know, Evans, stamina-wise, that's his main issue here currently. Otherwise, he would be able to play every game for us. He's just got low stamina. So, there is a free kick for Sociedad. Whipped in. Cleared away by Gaia. 2 changes for us, though. Nelson on. Hoping for the injection of pace, and there he is, up the front foot, but he hasn't made a run for us, so El Ghazi going to have to go it alone here, down this right. I don't have the aerial presence I once did with Calvert-Lewin. Nevertheless, looking for the cross, and Nelson attacked it, but didn't win it. Oh, good win back by Donny. Says we should have had a chance moment to go, and Reiss Nelson doubles our advantage. If you watch that back, you'll see we could have almost had the chance before it. We played it into Donis, who took a weird touch and actually gave the defender too much of the ball, and he took it off him. But then he wins it straight back. You can see that's where I kind of felt like maybe the pass was on, but nevertheless, defended it well. We win it back with Donis, who feeds Nelson, and it's 2-0 to Crew. And at this point, with 2 away goals, unless we have an absolute collapse back in England, we look like we're heading for a quarter-final of the Champions League. We had a couple of nervous moments when they hit the woodwork, but we've done the job at hand today and played pretty well, I'd say. Into the last couple of minutes now, as long as we don't concede. This has been a good performance. Cross whipped in. He often needs to win that. He wins the first one. Villar wins the second. And we deal with it very well. Grujic up towards Nelson, who flicks it for Donis, who's got El Ghazi on the right. Is it going to be 3-0 to Crew? Nelson on this left-hand side is making a good run. We square it across, and Reiss Nelson. It's the 3rd of the evening. We are heading towards our quarter-final. Completely on the break there. We sink the Sociedad hearts. And that should be the tie completely done. As I said earlier, unless for a collapse back in England, we should be into that quarter-finals. Great performance here. Didn't start off the second half brilliantly, but we bounced back in the right way, didn't concede, and we got another 2 goals on the board. Reiss Nelson, an inspired substitution, off the bench, grabs a brace for himself, and that is the final whistle. Get in there. What a performance. As I said, an inspired substitution. Well, he picked up man of the match, Reiss Nelson. Only featured for about 30 minutes in that one, but he did feature and do enough to win a man of the match performance. I mean, you can look at match facts. If you look at those 3 shots, 0 on target, right? 2 of those were woodwork shots, so they don't count on target, even though they were very, very nearly in the back of the net. So, yeah, I mean, On another day, maybe we might have not got that 3-0 win, but I'm glad we did. City also winning over at the Santiago Bernabeu means that they do have a 2-goal advantage as well, which is good to see. We've got Burnley next in the Prem. I'm not sure if I'm going to play us in this one. If we do go unbeaten, we go unbeaten, but just with the sheer amount of games that we've got to come, I really am not looking forward to it too much. So if I sim it now, I've gone with my second team, but then it's put my first team out, I think. Has it? Yeah, put my first team out. Like, look, guys, I'm trying to sim it with that team, but for some reason it won't do it. So I might have to switch this one up a little bit. If you know how to sort that out, because it's not the first time it's done it to me, actually, then let me know in a comment below. I'll change the team around, and then we'll sim the game against Burnley. Give me 2 secs. Also, news coming out of this one from Girona. Michael Kinsella's agreed move, which was about £17 million, has broken down. They couldn't agree reachable terms on the contract, so he will remain a Crew Alexandra player. Got no idea who that is. That's probably Buffon's regen, actually, now I think about it. I'm going to take a look at some regens as well next season and try and sign a couple of them, but yeah, so we still keep hold of Michael Kinsella. Not really, like, I wasn't bothered if he left, and I wasn't really bothered if he stayed, so I'm in that middle ground with him. I don't know if I want to keep him or not. This game against Burnley could be where we end our unbeaten run. Undoubtedly, though, if we continue the way we have in the Champions League and go as far as we did, then the chances are our unbeaten run is probably going to come to an end anyway. Calvert-Lewin gives us a lead in 12 minutes. As you can see on the left-hand side, that's the side I had to go with. So we've got Zivkovic, Constant, Tarkovsky, and Geyer at the back. Evans, Delgado, and Barco Villar in the midfield, so not our strongest midfield. And then Martin, Calvert-Lewin, and Nelson up front. They pick up a red card. It is long with it, but we've got an injury to Barco Villar. And we hold on for a 1-0 win. So we get the 3 points, but Villar's injury, we'll see how long that's going to be, because he has been playing quite a few times this season in the side. I think it's pretty much safe to say that we've won the league. I mean, look at that. We're 18 points ahead with, what, 13 games to go? It's just ridiculous. Even with the sliders, you know, this year's game feels very, very easy. And I don't know exactly what to put it down to. Whether or not it's just so easy to score, or whether or not the AI don't really create enough. So, next up we play Leicester, who are 12th place in the division. I might... wait a minute, let me see what we've got to come. So, we've got Leicester, then Brighton, then Sociedad, then Watford. So, I'm going to play this one against Leicester. And then we'll sim the next one against Brighton before that return leg of the game against Sociedad. This team, you know what I mean? Like, again, fitness-wise, probably going to be in a bad situation here. I'm going to have to switch out a few players. So, yeah. This team that we're naming isn't the greatest in the world. I'll show you it in a moment now. So, you can see that is the side we've had to go with. And if I show you our backline, we line up with Lee, Lemire, Haas, and Dominic Iorfa. And our 2 centre-backs between them have an average age of 19.5. Haas 20, Lemire 19. Both very young, inexperienced. This is Lemir's first start for the club in all competitions. Our midfield 3 is Grujic, Shibola, and Pritchard. So a more established midfield, I'd call it. Not necessarily the best one we've got at the club, but more established. And it's the usual suspects up top, Calvert-Lewin, Donis, and El Ghazi. So hopefully they'll have the striking capability to carry us through this. But not the greatest backline in the world. I'm going to say we're probably going to concede goals here, even with a goalkeeper like Green in between the sticks, just because we really don't have the best defensive back four I would have hoped for. But you never know. They might pull out the performance of the season, and our 2 young centre-backs might link really well with each other and keep Leicester quiet today. Donis in towards Calvert-Lewin, who missed those 2 big chances last game out, and he looks to curl one top corner this time. And unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to find that, as we are going to be beaten there. But Shibola back in the side today, does well to win that one back. It's going to be interesting. Can Calvert-Lewin get back to the form we know he's capable of? I say the back to the form. He hasn't played bad. He just missed those 2 chances in the last game, which was uncharacteristic of him. And that's the reason why. So we need him to fire on cylinders today, and we need us to defend if we can. And this isn't the way I wanted to start this. Borja Mayoral down the right, cuts it back inside towards Bentaleb, and he shoots, which is easy for Green to hold on to. Calvert-Lewin on the turn, finding Shibola, who lays it out towards Iorfa. Iorfa cuts back inside, goes back towards Shibola. He's got Gregley over on this left. And if this was Jose Gaya, I'd have tried to run it potentially down the wing there to whip a delivery in, but it's not Gaya, unfortunately, today. So here's Grujic. Trying to work through the middle of the park instead. Pritchard has seen Iorfa's run, and that is a fantastic ball through from Pritchard across the face of goal. And I don't know who it was. It might have been El Ghazi there. Didn't gamble on the actual thing and should have done, because he would have scored had he have gambled. Just slide in and try and get anything you can on that. That is brilliant. And here's Visca towards Bentaleb, and Green is equal to what was a very good strike from the former Spurs midfielder. He's trying to pull the strings, Nabil Bentaleb, today, and we can't let him do that. We need to make sure we keep him quiet. That's a delivery in, and Lemire Mir somehow is the man who wins it. I always get a bit nervous when I see crosses come in with a short side that we've got. And there is Leicester's opener. We're 24 games or 25 games now unbeaten in the Premier League, and yet we are now a 0-0 down away at the King Power Stadium. And it is Moyaral with the finish. Got to say, there hasn't been a lot from Leicester in this first half, but they've taken their chance when they've got it. I said I was worried about our back line today, and I said I was worried about the fact that we weren't going to be able to keep Leicester from scoring. Well, we haven't been able to score at the other end with our front three either. So, I mean, if we can't find a goal, we will lose that unbeaten run that we have in the league currently. And I won't be massively disappointed in it. Even if we were to lose, it's not the end of the world. It means, of course, we can sim more games because we're not having to risk that unbeaten run anymore. But boy, I can't believe that we haven't been able to get into half-time still at 0-0, sorry. Going to make a change. Calvert-Lewin's going to come off for Reece Nelson again like we did in that Champions League tie. Calvert-Lewin not having the greatest afternoon yet again here today, so he will be substituted. Don't know what's going wrong with him, but we need to find an equaliser in the second half. Great cutback by El Ghazi into towards the box. Pritchard. Now it goes to Grujic. Grujic! Oh, he couldn't find the bottom corner. Tried to turn and shift it to his left, but unfortunately the shot wasn't good enough and he went wide of the post. We have 23 minutes to try and change the outcome of this game. Otherwise, we are heading for our first defeat of this Premier League season. Last minute of this one now at the King Power. And 12th place Leicester are going to be the team that stops our unbeaten run unless we can find something. We need to get this ball up the field really quickly because the ref's going to blow his whistle anytime now. El Ghazi to Iorfa. Back towards... No, ref! I'm on the last attack! I knew the whistle was coming, but we actually played it down the line for Donis, and we were on the front foot. But nevertheless, we do fall to our first defeat of this league campaign. In all honesty, I expected it. With the team I had to play at the back four, I wasn't confident. And on another day, we wouldn't have conceded that chance. As I said earlier, El Ghazi didn't gamble on one of the chances that we had. And if he had have done, might have been a totally different story. But that is our first defeat of this league campaign, as you can see there. We are still 15 points clear of the table, so, I mean, it's not like it's bad or anything. But it would have been nice to continue that as far as possible. But it ends on the 26th game, and it is Leicester who defeat us. Next up is Brighton, and I'm going to be simming this one. As you can see, the team is back to our full-strength side. I think next season we need to invest in another backup left-back in place of Greg Lee because he's simply not good enough. And we potentially as well need to bring in a new right-back in place of Iorfa. We have taken a 1-1 draw currently. Donis equalising after Sanchez opened up the scoring for Brighton. I would be very frustrated if we were to lose this game as well, because we just lost moments ago as Evans gives us a 2-1 lead. Haas has come on for Gaia. Not sure why that's the change that's happened. Coley gives Brighton an equaliser, 2-2 now, and we are into the 90th minute, and we have held on to a 2-2 draw. Not the result we were looking for, as Man United win again, this time away to Newcastle, so they close that gap to 12 points, or sorry, 13 points now, and it was 15 before we went into that. Not ideal. We have an FA Cup game to come against Manchester United now, before we play that second leg against Sociedad. I mean, what am I going to do? Because I was just planning on literally playing that game against Sociedad and then getting through, and we are already into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and I didn't actually realise that. Brighton want Kinsella. We negotiated a deal for 17.5 from Girona initially in this one, so if they want Kinsella, they're going to have to do better than that 9.3 that they offered us there. Let's go with 17.5 again, because that's nowhere near what we had matched for Girona. That is ridiculous. Therefore, you have one last chance at 16.5. Otherwise, you can kiss this offer goodbye. No, they only want 9.3. Well, that's under his valuation, so no chance. We have another offer for Michael Kinsella, this time from Southampton. Again, though, we're going to put exactly the same counter offer that we did to Brighton, see what they say. I mean, there's clearly a big depression. I don't understand it, because we had an offer agreed with Girona for 17.5. which he just didn't agree a deal on. So it's not like we're asking for a lot. We already had an agreed deal for Girona. Maybe they were paying a bit too much. I don't know what to do in this FA Cup final, because my plan was to just play my strong side against Sociedad to go through. So, honestly, I might play Nelson. I'm going to play Martin as well. We'll probably play Shibola in place of Oxford. Grujic should be okay to play this one. I am going to bring off Evans, though, and put Pritchard back in the side. For our back four, we'll go with Haas at the back. We'll go with Flint alongside him. We'll go with Zivkovic out on the right. Gaia's going to have to play here and then play on Tuesday as well. I think that's going to have to be the case. So, yeah. So, FA Cup quarter-final time. The winner of this goes through to the semis, of course. That's the side that we're going to play. A front three of Calvert-Lewin, Nelson, and Martin. Isaac Martin, that is, of course. Grujic, Shibola, Pritchard in the midfield. Back four is Gaia, Flint, Haas, and Zivkovic. And the all-important green in between the sticks. Let's see if we can knock out Manchester United of this FA Cup. At the same time, though, if we were to get knocked out by them, it continues their run in it and might hinder their Premier League performances. So it's maybe a win-win whichever way this one goes for us here. Because we want to keep them off of trying to get a Premier League from us. But at the same time, if we go through to the semis, it is one of those cups that we haven't won yet and that we still need to win. Let's see what happens. Kimmich whipping the cross in. Haas deals with it. Doesn't get completely cleared. And Manchester United lead inside 10 minutes. Why are we so bad when it comes to aerial crosses? We deal with the first ball, but then we never ever win the second. And it comes from this. Haas wins it, and then Pritchard just dilly-dallies on the ball. At that point, I was trying to get him to clear it, and he just didn't do it. He took a touch. I don't understand why the touch was necessary, Pritchard. I really don't. Martin's back in the game. I didn't talk because I just wasn't expecting us to score straight there. But it's back at 1-1. He's got a lot of power behind his shots, Isaac Martin, so I can kind of do that in the box. We found him with Calvert-Lewin, little ball inside. And it's not great from David De Gea, I'm not going to lie. I've seen a lot better goalkeeping from him. But I'm so glad that we're back on level terms. And Pritchard, I have to say, has had a pretty shocking performance as of late. Done pretty bad when he's had a run in the side. I'm not totally convinced on him. But it's back at 1-1, and I was not expecting to be back at 1-1 as soon as we got there. So, happy indeed, but we need to push on and find a second and not concede. Lukaku brute strengths his way through, and Mkhitaryan's doubled it. Oh, so annoying. It really is annoying, because Lukaku just... I don't understand how he skipped past our tackle, and then as soon as Mkhitaryan got the ball... I knew full well where that ball was ending up, and that was a top corner. So, I mean, there's nothing I can do. Like, look at this. Flint just completely runs past it, and then Mkhitaryan on the first time strike smashes it top bins. I said it was a win-win, because if we get knocked out, United continue. But at the same time, it's not a win-win, because I really don't want to lose to Man United. And to be honest, they've had 2 chances and taken them both, and we haven't really done a lot. Nelson to Pritchard. Pritchard across the face of goal. Martin's there. It's 2-2. As soon as we concede, we get one back. There's been 4 goals inside 30 minutes here. I have no words for what on earth is happening. But my goodness me, Isaac Martin gets himself a double. Good work from Pritchard. I've got to say that. I've, of course, criticised him so far today. But he finds a good ball towards the back post. And Isaac Martin has put us back on level terms after we were 2-1 down. It's been so quick, our replies. But why are we having to concede before we start doing something up the other end? Nelson wins that ball back from Poole. Still Reece Nelson. And I'm never going to go anywhere with that one. He had no support, so couldn't do a lot. Please start marking Romelu Lukaku. He's free again as Mkhitaryan finding his teammate, or trying to find his teammate. Gaia cut it out. But every time that Lukaku gets the ball, we're not marking him. And it's frustrating, because we know if he gets the run on us, he's got the power to just run straight through that back line. As Zivkovic comes forward. Nelson. Martin. Nelson makes another good run for him. Where's Calvert-Lewin? There he is across. Calvert-Lewin! Oh my goodness me! What is wrong with Dominic Calvert-Lewin? He's had an episode to forget today. Seriously has. How on earth is he missing that one? He's our top scorer, for goodness sake. I can't believe how bad he's been today. Martin in towards the penalty area. Good work, Isaac Martin. He's got Nelson free. And it's the third of the afternoon for Kroom. It's all so simple when you close it down and just slow the play down as well. And what a performance Isaac Martin is having here. 2 goals and now an assist for himself inside the first half. There's 5 goals over this 44-minute period thus far. And we're not even into that second half yet. There still could be time for Manchester United to hit back. David De Gea has conceded 3. And we are 3-2 in front. Nice Calvert-Lewin burst of pace. This is where he's got to show us the Calvert-Lewin that we're used to. He drives forward, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and still Calvert-Lewin, and he couldn't finish it. We're not used to seeing this Calvert-Lewin. The drive and stuff is textbook Calvert-Lewin, but the finish was not. Again, another poor finish from Calvert-Lewin. It's not good when your top scorer is just having a blip in form. I don't think Brereton had a blip in form last year when he was here. Admittedly, though, he wasn't playing Champions League football, so that might be the reason why. But still, Calvert-Lewin, we need to grab him a goal to get that confidence back up. Nelson, Calvert-Lewin onto the left foot, gets the shot away, and it's the 4th of the afternoon. And it's Calvert-Lewin with the finish as well. I said we needed to get a goal for his confidence to come back to what it was, and that is a textbook finish from him. Gets it onto his left, finds that bottom corner. It's what we wanted from him. And now we have a 2-goal advantage. First time, actually, that we've had a 2-goal advantage all afternoon long. But, more importantly, Calvert-Lewin is back on the score sheet. Don't know what went wrong with him earlier on, but at least he scored now. Uh-oh. Guedes! Green pushes it away. Another poor clearance from us. We haven't even cleared the lines yet either. Regan Poole now. Grujic stops him for a little bit. Doesn't get the ball. Mkhitaryan on the turn. Mkhitaryan again. Off the woodwork. We don't clear our lines well enough, and that's the problem. Cross whipped in. Haas up against Lukaku. Wins the header somehow. Not quite sure how that's happened, but Calvert-Lewin comes away with this. Nelson inside to Martin. Martin to Calvert-Lewin. Backwards it goes. Brilliant. Last few minutes of the game. Cross whipped in. Green, please deal with that. He does. Gotta say, today there's been a lot of chances, and it's not been a good afternoon for either side's defence. Not really showing the best defending in the world. As Zivkovic gets that ball and finds Nelson. Manchester United have a few players up the pitch now, and that might be why they get caught on the break here. Boateng up against Reiss Nelson. He's got past the German. Nelson towards the box, and Calvert-Lewin finds the 5th. Yes! We are through to the semis of this FA Cup. And more importantly, Calvert-Lewin has got himself a double. That should give him the world of confidence moving forward. And there is the full-time whistle. A 5-2 victory over Manchester United. Again, another game with loads upon loads of chances. Like it was against Everton. But we got the job done in the end. Wasn't clean, wasn't, convictional. But as you can see by the match facts, we were the better team. So we move through to that semi-finals of that FA Cup. There's still Burnley in there, Everton in there, Chelsea and Southampton in there. I'm wondering who the other 2 teams are as well. It is Palace against Newcastle. So from here on out, it is just Premier League teams. Which it has been for the entirety of the quarters now, I say that. There was a couple of Championship teams in the round of 16, but whoever we get in the semis now will be a Premier League team. So this one could be quite interesting. We'll play out that game now, see what the draw is, and then we'll end the episode off there ahead of the second leg against Sociedad. Okay, so the FA Cup draw, I've skipped to the left. We should see it now. West Ham have won the Carabao Cup. It is Crewe taking on Newcastle, and Burnley will face Chelsea in the semi-finals for the FA Cup to try and see who can get through to that final. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll be where we end today's episode off. I will go ahead and I'll check out those Youth Academy playlists in a moment. See if there's anybody worth signing at this point. Probably not, but I will check them out. We do end the episode off in first place still. Our unbeaten run has come to an end, as you know, with the unfortunate loss against Leicester. But that's the way it goes sometimes. We did pick up that 3-0 win against Sociedad. So as it stands in that aspect, we are in the front foot to get through to the quarters of the Champions League. We end the episode off 13 points clear of Manchester United, but you can't see that because my ugly mug is blocking that. I apologise. Everton down in 3rd, Southampton 4th, Bournemouth in 5th. In terms of the FA Cup teams still left in it, Newcastle are 11th, Chelsea are 6th, and Burnley are 19th. So, off league position alone, we're favourites for that FA Cup, I would say. I will see you all for another episode of this series, hopefully in the next couple of days. I don't want to leave it as long as I did from the last episode for this one, so I'll try my hardest to get another one out. If not, like the next day, the day after that, pretty much. But I hope you all did enjoy it. I appreciate all your support, as always, guys. I always say that. Thank you so much for all of your support. It's incredible to see, even with FIFA in the stage that it is. Of course, we do have the World Cup game mode coming out some point in the near future, so I will make a couple of videos on that and maybe have some fun with it. If you're not already subscribed and you like what you see, that is down below. Alongside that is the notification bell. You can click that and never miss an upload on the channel. That is it from me for today. We had the Celta Vigo career mode out at 4. This one should be out at 6. I'll see you all again at 4 PM tomorrow for yet another video. Catch you all then, guys. Adios.